everyone, Lena here. Welcome back to my channel. How have you been enjoying the Dream Chapter Eternity so far? I'm here today to explain my theory about the Can't You See Me music video. I'm sure that everyone is as excited as I am, so we're gonna just jump straight into it. The music video opens up with the blue notebook. This blue is the same as the Dream Chapter star, which is a nice touch. In it, we have various photos directly from the Runaway music video with doodles of the scene above it. I think the doodles mean that this notebook actually belongs to Soobin, since he's the one that we've seen draw before. It's the same thing that he's doing in Runaway, where the whole board is filled with his drawings. I've previously theorized that these were dream drawings in which he predicts future events, such as the door and the fire. To further add to this, in the beginning of Magic Island, he types, "In my dream, we," and then deletes it without sending. And this sounds pretty similar to the Korean title of Can't You See Me, "The Night the World Burned, we." I'm guessing Soobin is getting dreams about alternate timelines, all of the same night, when the fire burns out of control. The night the world burned. So all of these three music videos actually happen at the same point in time on just separate timelines, or, even more likely, this is just another one of Soobin's dreams along with Runaway. The only thing that might contradict this is the burn that Yeonjun has in the Runaway music video, which originally placed it after the Magic Island events where we see him get this burn. So because of that, I can't confirm the placement of the Can't You See Me music video with absolute certainty, as Yeonjun actually has his hand conveniently covered up. So let's assume that this is in fact a dream, and thus everything in this music video is a representation of events that might have happened. Also, while I said that it is specifically Soobin who draws out the dreams and mentions that he's dreaming, we do know that TXT's catchphrase is "one dream," so probably this doesn't reflect only Soobin's point of view on things, but everyone's, since they share the same dream, one dream. But that doesn't necessarily mean that everyone remembers this dream. The fire represents negative thoughts and emotions. I assume specifically in a sense of resentment in this particular music video, and it gets bigger throughout the video as these emotions come to the forefront. In Runaway, it grew as they tried to run away from it and ignore their problems, but Can't You See Me gives us a different angle here, where it grows in response to their emotions, and as their fighting turns from playful to more and more serious, the fire gets bigger and bigger. At least that's what I thought, and while I don't think that is wrong, I don't think that it's the whole story either. In the lyrics of the song, it starts by telling us that their memories are on fire and turning to ashes. Their promise. The promise that they made to the star in Nap of a Star that they couldn't follow through with. This promise was to be together forever. The song even tells us that. Then it tells us, "You turn your back on the fire," as in you turn your back on our memories that are burning. So it's a sense of resentment that not everyone was trying to follow through on their promise to be friends forever, and thus ruining their relationships. But who was turning their back on this fire? Who was ruining their promise? Who is the liar? In the concept photos for the group, it is Soobin who isn't even tagged in the group photo, and even in several of TXT's previous music videos, Soobin has separated himself from the group. Even in the concept trailer for Eternity, it seems like the others stop hearing him, and he feels like he's not even a part of the group. Interestingly, after sitting there depressed for a while, he climbs onto the table to confront his friends, only to be stopped by an invisible wall. Then he yells at them before seemingly giving up. Or he could be yelling at the cat, which is visible here, and could even be the real culprit, but the thing we need to take away from this is that it leads him to feel resentment for being unheard and left out. In his concept photos for the Port album, he has a photo post with the caption, "Why should it only be me who suffers?" Soobin is the liar. The choreography even confirms this fact, where he's crossing his fingers behind his back in a common gesture of not following through on a promise. But he's not alone in this. Taehyun also does the same gesture. I previously mentioned that Taehyun and Soobin's names were written together on the board with Soobin's drawings in Runaway, while the other members were written off to the side. Ironically, right above a fire. And that, in addition to the amount that he talked to Taehyun in the concept trailer, it was heavy evidence for me to assume that they were closer to each other than the others, or at least Soobin felt so. Yet, in the music video, they don't seem to want to interact with each other at all, with Taehyun seeming disinterested from the start and both of them not even looking at the other when they're in the same room. In Taehyun's concept photos, he tags Soobin as suspicious. He even has a code that translates to Philip Marlowe, who is a detective, so I believe that he's actually been catching on to the fact that Soobin is unhappy and distancing himself. It's hard to say exactly what happened between these two, but there seems to be some level of disdain, which means that Taehyun is also a liar for not trying to keep the promise of all of them being together forever. He might even have his suspicions that Soobin is trying to sabotage their friend group. Remember, he said, "Why should it be only me who suffers?" But Taehyun hasn't told anyone. And this brings me to Beomgyu, because I think Beomgyu is being manipulated by Soobin. Or at the very least, the situation causes him to act differently. Although it seems to be shown specifically using the color red whenever this is happening. It almost looks like possession with the level it's sometimes taken to, which is a little bit creepy. Anyways, the scene where Soobin has the pink lemonade, he pushes the glass off of the table and the video immediately shows Beomgyu falling onto the bed. He is literally pushing Beomgyu off of the edge. It's after this moment that Beomgyu has the scene where he's suffocating Taehyun. If you decode Beomgyu's concept photos, it says unfair. He thinks it's unfair that the two are fighting and ruining the group's fun, and takes it out on Taehyun. And now they're both suffering. Soobin is no longer the only one suffering, just like he wanted. Beomgyu starts to pick on Taehyun, a mirror of Yeonjun poking fun at Soobin at the beginning, and Taehyun, like Soobin, takes Beomgyu's jokes to heart. He is visibly offended that Beomgyu would throw something at him. At this moment, we get flashes of the other members' reactions. At first, they laugh, and then they realize that Taehyun may have taken the teasing to heart, and Soobin just looks away. In one of Yeonjun's concept photos, he writes the caption, "There's someone who wants to separate us." Beomgyu comments on this saying, "Hyung knows this." It's kind of a weird translation, but this is probably better translated as, "Hyung, you know who this is." Beomgyu thinks it's Taehyun. It is after this point that Yeonjun starts to realize that his friends are seriously fighting, that his jokes, as he put it in the concept photos, have gone too far. He feels guilty. He is the one who pushed his friends too far. The fire engulfs the house when he realizes that he has the blood of his friends on his hands. Outside the story of Can't You See Me, the fire seems to generally center around Yeonjun, which probably means he did something awful, and that flame follows him throughout the other timelines, even into dreams. My theory for this is that that is because he broke the rules in Magic Island, where instead of following the rule to close your eyes to get to the island, he actually opened them. But I wouldn't be surprised if it goes much deeper than that. We'll have to look out for it in the future. The only member I haven't mentioned yet is Kai, so let's take a look at what happens in his concept photos, which, if it isn't already obvious at this point, I believe happened after the music video. We're together, but it feels strange. And his hashtags here say, "on the sidelines," and "I don't know what's going on." Even the movie he references, Stand By Me, is about kids who are completely innocent. Yet, in another photo where Taehyun and Beomgyu are not looking at each other, Kai asks, "What is going on?" And Taehyun replies in a comment, "It's better if you don't know." Taehyun is protecting Kai from the reason he and Beomgyu are fighting. He has no idea. Finally, in the same photo where Taehyun originally tagged Soobin as suspicious, Kai tags Soobin as lonely, along with the caption, "Hyung," as in Soobin, "isn't that kind of person." He sees through to Soobin's heart and sees that he really is just lonely since he can't be heard. He's not suspicious, he's lonely. Kai's non-involvement is reflected in the music video as well. He's just trying to do his own thing, have a good time, and isn't really sure why it's escalated to the level that it's had. Not only does he know that Soobin is lonely, but he starts to feel lonely too. However, Soobin's loneliness developed into something far worse, as we know. Finally, I wanted to touch on some of the things that we don't see in the music video. First, the cat. The cat does not appear because this is not a mainline TXT universe music video. This is a dream world that expands upon the things that are happening. like an alternate timeline or a dream. But just because we don't see it in this video doesn't mean that its presence isn't felt. It's very likely that the cat is somehow pulling at the puppet strings and controlling their reactions to things, especially knowing the involvement with the concept video, where it literally seems to put up the barrier that goes between Soobin and his friends. Likely, we'll see more of what caused the fire in the next TU video, and if the cat has some involvement in it. I predict the next TU music video will be Eternally, following the theme of Dream Chapter Star, Nap of the Star, Dream Chapter Magic, Magic Island, and of course Dream Chapter Eternity and Eternally. The title is the key word. Yeah, I strongly believe the cat will make another appearance when that music video comes out. Next is the bear. This bear was picked up by Taehyun at the end of Runaway after having been transformed from the beginning of the video where it was whole. The concept photos seem to suggest that Taehyun held onto it and thus still has it. I'm actually a little surprised that it didn't appear in the music video, but its absence is notable, especially since there could be more to the reason on why Beomgyu turns so suddenly on Taehyun than what I've previously explained. For example, in a hypothetical situation where Beomgyu believes the bear is evil or something. I'm not saying that's what happened, by the way, I'm just saying that there's probably more to the story than what we can currently see. Furthermore, ceci n'est pas un nounours. This is not a teddy bear. This is a concept photo that is a reference to Ceci n'est pas une pipe. This is not a pipe, which is a famous painting by the name of The Treachery of Images by René Magritte. It is a representation of a pipe, not a pipe. Therefore, it is treacherous, a betrayal of your trust in it. This teddy bear is not a teddy bear. In fact, it has the parts of all of the pain of the boys. It is a representation of all that hurts them. Yeonjun's horns and the cut on his neck, Taehyun's eye, the 2 large ears to match Soobin's own, a gash in its left shoulder to represent Beomgyu's thorns, and a heart stitched back on to represent Kai's pain. What became of this bear to turn into such a thing? What does this mean for the boys? I think the future will tell us. Also, there's a code at the bottom that translates to the word clue, which has always been Taehyun's Morse code from the very beginning, once again proving that Taehyun is in possession of this bear, and that it might be a very important clue for the near future. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope that this was able to put the music video and comeback in general into perspective for you, but what do you think? Is there more to the story? Are they simply the puppets that are being controlled by something bigger? What are your theories? Leave them in the comments below. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe for more theory videos and explanations on the TXT and Big Hit universe. All of my social media where you can follow and reach me is listed down below. As it is, stay sunny everyone. Bye!